Alright, so here we have it's another fun video for today. I'm gonna be ranking the first wave of McFarlane DC Multiverse. So first off, let's start off with the what the letters mean. The S tier obviously means that it's like the best figure that they put out from this wave. A tier, I would say it's good. It's alright. B tier, I would say it's okay. I guess. I guess that's a figure. C tier, I would say that is trash. D tier, I'll say that's garbage. That's the worst figure I've ever seen in my whole life. And as always, this is just my opinion. You guys can let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think? What would you rate these figures? So first off, let's start off with the live action. And the only live action figure here we have from the first wave. It is Arrow from the Arrow show from the CW.
Derek Sampson, you have failed this state.
So overall, this figure, the sculpting, I really loved what he did. The articulation on this figure is bad. The articulation this guy has are in his legs and arms. Nothing on the chest because that's just a whole piece of plastic in the middle. So there's no articulation in there. You're not able to move the head because of the hoodie. The sculpt of the face for Stephen Amell, the actor that plays Arrow, it's very in the middle. It's like very mid, almost to like nothing, but I could kind of see it, but not really. I'm kind of being generous here. But yeah, the head sculpt is not that great, but it's not that bad either. So it's like very mid. The accessories on this guy are huge, which is one thing that my partner still struggles with up to this date. So yeah, overall you can't really do cool poses with this guy. The articulation is very limited, but for it being their first time on trying to do a live action figure, I would say I would put this guy, I guess, in the trashy category, C tier. Like I said, it's the articulation on this figure and accessories are really big, but this is the first time doing a live action figure, so I won't be so mean in putting on the D tier. Alrighty, so here we have it is Nightwing. Now Nightwing was part of a build a wave. Uh, it was not a build a figure wave. It was a build a vehicle wave. Yeah, kind of weird that they were doing that. And I believe the price range for that was to $25, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it was a vehicle instead of a figure. It was more like a big Hot Wheel car. So yeah, not the best choice there. Thankfully, they changed it to a bit of figure wave. Uh, so yeah, this Nightwing, I don't really have any problems with it. It's pretty cool. I think it's the nearest perfect Nightwing that my father has ever made. It's just I don't know. This one it is not for me. I think my father has made a little bit more better Nightwings right now, but this one for the time I think it was really great. Fantastic Nightwing. Really love the sculpt on this guy. You're able to put his screamer sticks on his back, which really nice detail they did there. Articulation was decent. The head sculpt was pretty good. So I think I will put this guy in the A tier for right now. Who knows, if this video does good, I might change some of these, and at the end I'll show you guys the full thing. My rating of every DC Multiverse from the years. Because this was from 2020, I believe. I believe the first wave they revealed was in 2020. So it's like a 2020 tier list. So I'm gonna put this guy on the A tier list. Almost a pretty near perfect Nightwing. Alright, so continuing the build a vehicle wave, here we have it is Batgirl. This is their first ever Batgirl they have ever made. The overall, based on what I'm seeing, I really love the sculpture they did with this Batgirl. I really love the detail. The articulation on this figure, if I remember correctly, was alright. It was okay, not that bad. But the sculpting is, like I said, it's pretty nice. The cape was sculpted also. It was not a wire cape like we're getting right now. The face sculpt is pretty nice. Really love the detail on the hair, on the face. The accessories they gave for this Batgirl was just one Batarang and a grappling gun, which is pretty nice. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, it comes with a piece of the vehicle included in there, the trading card and the stand. So yeah, I mean, this Batgirl is not very a popular version of Batgirl. I don't see a lot of people talking about this Batgirl. And in my opinion, when I got this Batgirl, it was alright. I didn't have much fun as with other figures I got from this wave. So with this one, I say I'll put it on the B tier. It's alright. It's okay. It's not that bad, but it's not that great in my opinion. So yeah, B tier. Alright, now the third and final figure of this build a vehicle wave. Yes, back then they used to do three. It is the Batman Who Laughs. Now this one, I did at first I didn't know much about this guy, but when they released this figure, I don't know, it got me curious, and I read some of his comics, and it was pretty okay. I didn't read the full story because it's a freaking huge story. But for this figure, it has a lot of detail, even though the mobility or articulation on this figure was not that great. It had a lot of detail. I really loved it. I fell in love with this figure. I think they even made like three versions of this guy later on with the same mode. It's just a pretty cool looking Batman figure because obviously it is still considered a Batman figure. For accessory, he came with his two knives, and that's pretty much it. The knives did have some detail in there, which is also pretty cool. So yeah, overall, love this figure. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. I'll put it next to Nightwing. And in case you're wondering how the car looked altogether, here's an image of the car. Alright, next up here we have is Superman 1000, which if you have been following my channel, then you know this is still my number one Superman figure. I don't know, this one, it just, for me, is perfect. For me, this is like the best Superman McFarlane has ever made up to this date. The sculpting of it, the body not being too bulky, not too slim either. It's just perfect, and I really love the sculpted S they did. They recently released one that has the wire cape and a printed S. I think the printed S is a downgrade to the one they did with the sculpted S. Yeah, the cape they gave him with the wired is kind of an upgrade, but I don't know. The plastic on this one, the cape, seems to be like much wider cape that is being shown in here in the sculpted cape. So yeah, this Superman is still my favorite one, even if it doesn't have the wire cape. It's fantastic. That's how I imagine Superman with that face that he has. It's just perfect. I'll put this guy obviously on the S tier. He also came with some decent accessories. He came with two set of hands and the flying stand, which I believe that was like around the first time seeing the fly stand from McFarlane. So yeah, it was a pretty nice addition there. Alright, next up we have, it is Batman 1000. This is the first comic book Batman. Well, more of a traditional Batman, because the other one was Batman Who Laughs. So this was kind of based off Jim Lee's artwork, which didn't translate that well, I'm guessing. Because people, if I remember correctly, people didn't like this Batman that much. For it to be a traditional Batman, I'll say it's alright. It had decent articulation. I believe the cape was a soft cape. It was not like a hard cape like the Superman. It came with a grappling gun, a batarang. Yeah, it's just pretty okay Batman figure. They also released a blue version of him, which I kind of like a little bit more. But that was like the chase at first. When my friend was starting, that was like a chase or variant, because I didn't see the blue version a lot. You usually saw this version, the black one, instead of the blue one. So the blue one was kind of a chase. Not really, but I guess it was considered chase back then. So yeah, pretty okay figure. Not that bad, but not that great either. Not my favorite Batman, so I'll put him in the B tier. Alright, next up we have, it is Superman Unchained. Now this one, to be honest, I'm a little biased, but it's because of the price point at the beginning. It was $20, and you will be getting like figures like this. Like, they're very chunky. It has a lot of plastic. It didn't feel cheap. It had amazing paint. This guy had decent articulation. My only problem a bit it was that on my figure the wings didn't attach there very well. But other than that, I think this figure is pretty nice. It's an awesome looking Superman. They did release a variant which was supposed to be like the energized version of him, if I'm correct. But that didn't help the figure a lot. I don't like the way that version looks. But this one is like amazing figure that they did for the Superman. Like I said, for that price point that you used to have back then, this figure is like fantastic. So I'll put him in the A tier. Alright, next up we have it is the Hellbat Batman. And just like Superman, this was a big chunky of plastic. This guy did have, well, it was a little bit heavy, but not that heavy. And this I kind of included with the two wings, which were able to be folded, which that's pretty cool. Because nowadays my friend doesn't usually give us this kind of wings for these figures. So yeah, this one was really cool. They even also gave him a variant, which was a gold and red variant. That one also looked really cool, but I do prefer the black and red. And yeah, just pretty amazing figure here for 20 bucks back then. I'll say that's pretty awesome. I don't know, this one I think is a little bit better than Superman in my opinion. So I'll put this guy in the S tier. I don't know, I might change the Superman to the S tier now that I'm thinking about it. But for right now, I'll just keep the way it is. So I'm gonna put Batman in the S tier. Alright, next up we have it is Harley Quinn, the first Harley Quinn they give us. And this Harley Quinn is supposed to be comic book version, but some people thought that it was the cartoon version, which I don't blame them because the figure does look like the cartoon version of Harley Quinn. The accessories he comes with is a hammer and and a pistol, which at that point McFarlane was not held back by WB on the gun policy, so they were able to do guns on these figures. So yeah, the Harley Quinn, I'll say they did a great job with the body, the head sculpt. Like I said, it does look like the cartoon version of Harley Quinn, which is not a bad thing, but they were actually going for the comic book version. So yeah, like I said, it's not a really bad Harley Quinn figure. It's just that not a really great Harley Quinn comic book figure, if you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, with this Harley Quinn, I'm gonna put her on the B tier. Alright, next up we have are the anime figures. First off, we're gonna start off with Batman from Batman the Anime Series. There was also a quote-unquote chase variant of this guy, which was the blue variant, just like they did with the other Batman comic book Batman. So yeah, this Batman I would say is the best one out of the animated all the animated figures. Not just these three that I'm gonna be mentioning on the first wave. From this wave, I believe Batman is the best one out of those. Obviously, yeah, it still has the same problem as the other ones, but I think this one looks a little bit better. The eyes, you can barely see the white eyes because they're all the way in the back. But everything else, I would say, if you ignore the articulation on this guy, the articulation on this guy is okay, not the best thing. The other figures do have better articulation than this Batman. The cape on this Batman is very heavy, which makes the figure fall a lot. The legs are they're like really skinny, so that makes the figure fall even more. So you can't stand this figure without a stand. Well, you can, but like it will take you some time to actually stand this figure without the stand. They gave this Batman pretty decent accessories. They gave him two set of hands, Batarang, and his grappling gun, which is pretty nice. So from the three animated figures, Batman seems to be the one that has the most accessories, and I mean it's not that bad looking, but still the proportions are not that well. Like I said, the figures fall down because of his skinny legs. So I guess I'm gonna put this guy in the C tier. Next up, we have it is the Green Lantern. Now this one I have a lot of problems with, because for me the body's too big, the head sculpt is too small. I live with Batman kind of was fitting, I guess. But with this one, I see the head sculpt that is too small, and it has the same problems as Batman. The accessories, he comes with a cool looking weapon, but I don't think he ever wore that weapon in the cartoon. I think he barely. I don't think they were able to do guns in the cartoon. So McFarlane just gave him a gun as a figure, which it's a gun that they started to reuse later on, even until this day. But I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a translucent weapon, but like I said, I don't think John Stewart ever wore a weapon in the cartoon. You guys can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that weapon he never used in the cartoon. So overall, I'm gonna put this guy on the D tier. I just don't like it. I already touched that figure. I have it, but I already touch it. Next up here we have is, I believe, the second best animated figures from this wave, and it's Superman. It was. I do. I obviously have problems with this figure. It has the same problems as the other figures. His legs are skinny. He falls. The accessory he comes with two set of hands and a piece of quote unquote metal in there. There was also a Superman variant of this guy, which was the black and gray. Alright, now going back to the red suit Superman. I mean, it's not a bad looking Superman, to be honest, on this animated figure form. Like I said, the worst one for me was Green Lantern. Obviously, I'm gonna leave it on the D tier because I don't know. I just don't like this Superman figure. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Maybe because mine was defective. Because the Superman I have, even if I put him in the stand, he still falls, which is really weird. I think his legs are pretty weak on the figure that I got, and accessory you try to put on his hand, it's sometimes hard to do because the hands are really, they're not like soft plastic that you're able to move around. You have to put a lot of pressure for to open his hand and then put his accessory in. Um, Obviously I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it a bit. I'm gonna put Superman in front of Green Lantern because I do like it a little bit more than Green Lantern. But I don't know, these animated figures, 7-inch, are not the greatest. I've seen better. Well, my friend does do better. But with these early animated figures, they're not that great. So, yeah. Alright, next up here we have, it is their first Batmobile. I'm not really sure if it's a Batmobile because I know the name of this vehicle is the Bat-Raptor. Is it considered a Batmobile? Let me know down in the comments if you guys consider this their first Batmobile. I think it's their first Batmobile that they made for this Batman. So yeah, this vehicle, I mean, it is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It does look cool. And if you have the Batman comic book figure, you can put him in the vehicle. When this came out, I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, I really don't have much problems with this vehicle. So I'm just gonna put him in the B tier. I don't have much to say about this vehicle. So yeah, just for right now, I'm gonna put it on the B tier. And before we end the video, I want to give a quick shout out to KT McManus for becoming a member. I will be dropping exclusive content really soon for members, and later on I'm gonna be adding stickers, and you get early access to videos, which is just for $1.99, $2. You don't really have to. That's if you want to support the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, let me know down in the comments what will be your ranking for this McFarlane DC Multiverse first wave they did. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.